Based upon my years of experience helping small to medium-sized health, wellness, and stress management companies to brand, advertise, and market their companies successfully, I saw the need and decided to create a program to help you design and develop your own marketing plan for your service business. The saying, fail to plan, plan to fail, is absolutely correct. A marketing plan is essential to the success of any business operation. The secret to a successful health and wellness business is to stay focused on a well-developed marketing and communication plan. Since most wellness professionals are not trained in business development or marketing, it is very common that there is usually no plan in place, and if there is, it is typically not developed and very useful. As a result, many small businesses struggle to get new clients and to expand their business. Many just quit because there is no direction or plan. I have designed this webinar to enable you to learn about the best industry practices for creating a very effective marketing plan. The webinar and the accompanying workbook will take you from how to create your mission and goals, identify your target markets, and the most effective ways to communicate to your target market with your marketing messages. A properly developed marketing plan is essential, and when followed will keep you focused and on track with all of your marketing efforts. This webinar is no cost to you. However, if you are serious about creating your own personal marketing plan for your health and wellness business, I'm making available my marketing plan development kit or workbook at a nominal cost. This workbook is comprehensive and complements this webinar in that you will be able to go through 14 key steps to building a highly effective marketing plan. With your plan in place, you will be able to increase your sales and business success. And let's get started with the webinar. Welcome to our webinar on creating an effective marketing plan. If you're struggling to get new clients, chances are you're attending this webinar because you want to succeed in your business. My goal today is to provide you with the knowledge of how to create an effective marketing plan and provide some inspiration to help you spend time to actually create a top-notch plan. So let's get started. Let's take a little bit of an overview of what the webinar will contain so that you'll have a better idea of where we're going. An effective marketing plan has many components. The most important are the company mission, the goals and objectives that are going to help you get to that mission, the services you provide that will be sold to your clients or customers, your awareness of the customer or target market that you want to reach, your unique selling proposition or USP, your SWOT, where you identify your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Pricing, communication strategy, how are you going to get your information out to the public or to a business where they will see exactly what you provide and be inspired to purchase your product or service. The nature of your sales strategies and a referral plan. We'll also cover a few other areas as we go into the marketing plan in greater depth. Before we get started discussing the key elements of an effective marketing plan, there are two very important questions to ask. What is your mission, vision, or purpose? And two, what are your goals? Questions you should ask yourself are, do you have a mission statement? Does it drive or motivate you? Do you refer to it very often? Does it reflect your passion? If not, probably time to redo, rewrite, or create a new mission statement that really reflects who you are and what you want to accomplish. So how do you write a mission statement? First of all, it's important to remember that it's general. It's a goal that's an action. It's not just a sentiment. And that it's quantifiable. It's not nebulous. I recommend that you take your mission statement and rip it to shreds, then ponder your ambitions. Write and rewrite the mission statement until it reflects in real, printable words and figures the difference that you want to make. Here's an example of the StressMaster mission statement. Our mission is to be the global leader in reducing workplace stress and improving the health and well-being of people through evidence-based stress mastery assessments, training, consulting, and coaching, locally, nationally, and globally. Your task is to now rewrite or create or modify your mission statement. The next question we really want to ask is, what are your goals? Where do you want to take your business? As the Cheshire Cat said in Alice in Wonderland to Alice, if you don't know where you're going, any path will do. Well, that's not the way we want to run a business. Many businesses struggle with the direction they want to go in, and what services they want to offer, and how to maintain a focus on daily, weekly, and monthly activities. A marketing plan that provides direction is greatly needed. The first step is to really understand your goals. In order to plan, you must have goals, and they can be simple or multidimensional, but they should be clear and easily understood. Let's make a difference between goals and objectives. Many people confuse the two. Let's look at goals. Goals are long-term and have a timeline. They're often global or general in nature. They actually point to what you want to achieve. It's what you're really aiming at. You will note that the word go is included in the word goal, as it points to where you want to go. Now let's turn our attention to objectives. Objectives are specific. They lead to certain kinds of activities or methods whereby you achieve your goals. Objectives are short-term. They have a timeline. Each goal can have many objectives. Objectives are more precise and specific than goals, and they have the word object in it, which means that you can actually see the results. Let's take a look at the Stress Master International goal. Our goal is to reduce workplace stress, build resilience, and teach how to master stress by providing stress mastery assessments, training, coaching, and consulting services and products to companies, employees, and individuals locally, nationally, and globally. Now let's look specifically at what the objectives are that have been established to achieve that goal. As you'll see, there are many objectives for that goal. The first objective is, for example, to increase the number of individual Stress Master associates to 100 and corporate associates to 5 by June 30th, 2018. That is a specific objective with a timeline. It's achievable, and you can see it or measure it. Objective 2, to add 5 new stress mastery services and or products that will be sold to companies, organizations, individuals, and associates by 6/30/18. A third objective is to offer at least one stress mastery content-focused webinar or coaching to all Stress Master associates each month beginning in January 2018. As you will see, there are 6 objectives at this point. However, for Stress Master International, we have more than 6 objectives and we have more than one goal. So for your program, your task would be to identify your goals and then specifically create the objectives for each one according to the plan, which is to make it specific, time-oriented, concrete, and very easy to understand. What is a marketing plan? A marketing plan is a roadmap that defines who are your customers, what services you offer, how you're going to reach them with your message, and why they should buy your services. It sounds complicated, but it doesn't have to be. The main reason that people don't create a written marketing plan is that it requires effort and work. It's often not fun. But at the end, the reward is a roadmap that you can follow to achieve your objectives and reach your goals. Done properly, your marketing plan will be your roadmap that you can follow day in and day out to dramatically improve the success of your company. As I mentioned earlier, there are several components to a marketing plan. The first step is to define your services. A service business like providing stress mastery, wellness, or health programs need Careful definition and description. Have you clearly defined your service offerings, your products, and your services? If not, here are some tips you can follow to create and describe the services so that people really understand what you offer. Number one, focus on the benefits more than the features. It's very common for people to spend time on features, which are fine, but people buy benefits more than they do the features. Use simple language. Often I like to say, write like you're talking to a child. Picture your ideal client, for example, and write to him or her what it is that you do and what your program is. Keep it short and sweet. When it is needed, you can use hot links in your email or your PDF. Here's an example from our Stress Master program, Workplace Stress Mastery Training. Our service, we define it as our evidence-based, employee-focused stress mastery training program reduces work stress, improves job performance, decreases healthcare costs, and increases job satisfaction. We help employees to recognize when they are under stress using a valid stress assessment tool created by Dr. James Petersen. And then, using our proven effective techniques, we help each person to reduce, manage, and ultimately master how they handle life and work stressors. The end result is a less stressed, happier, healthier, and more productive employee. This description would fall under our Stress Master Training Program section. Let's turn now to Stress Master International Services and a listing of the programs and services that we provide. Each of these would require a description. For example, the associate program, we have a brochure that defines our individual and corporate associate program. As for coaching of individuals or business development, sales, program development, the same would apply. In our employee training program section, we have the Stress Mastery program. We also have programs in marketing, for example, this particular webinar, and also in sales. Continuing by way of example, we provide presentations, stress assessments, consulting, program evaluations, graphic and web design, and webinars. Again, each one of these would require a careful description and explanation. Your task would be to do the same thing. Take each of the areas that you focus on and define it and describe it in great detail. Not too much, but enough for people to understand exactly what you do, what the benefits are, and why they should purchase your services or programs. And if you have products to sell, it might be nutritional products, diet, nutrition, maybe a book. Describe each one just as before. In conclusion, the better you understand your services and products, the better you will be able to create a plan to market it. Your task would be to list, review, rewrite, and finalize a description of all your services and products. The fourth component to your marketing plan is to identify your target market. This is one of the most important areas within the entire market plan that you're creating. Identify your target client or customer. Who are you trying to reach? Do you have a clear understanding of your ideal client? Start by defining your ideal client or customer in detail. If you have more than one type of service, such as training, consulting, or coaching, you will need to identify the characteristics of each one. It is really important to understand your target market. To help you, here are some ideas. First of all, what are you focusing on? Are you focusing on services you provide to business, as in B2B, or individual, which would be B2C or B to consumer, or both? Analyze your current customer base. Who are they? What are their needs? What do they look like? Who are your competitors? This will tell you a great deal about where you should be putting your energy. What demographics are important, like age, gender, marital status, and so forth. Look at their psychographic profile. What are their interests? What are their precise wants and needs as they relate to the products and services you offer? When clearly identifying and understanding your target customer, you will both pinpoint your advertising and get a higher rate of return on investment and better speak their language so that you can address your message to their needs. When defining your target market or client, answer these questions. What problem am I solving? What will they gain from my offer? What will they lose if they don't hire me? What is my niche or segment market? Why am I uniquely skilled to solve their problem? Am I prepared to spend the time and money to succeed? These questions and more will allow you to create and define your target market with precision. Once you have a pretty good handle on your target market, you should ask yourself some questions like this. Does a market exist for my services? How big is that market? Should I look elsewhere? Are there enough people or companies who would benefit? Will my target market really benefit by what I provide? Is my product or service affordable? And can I communicate the features and benefits effectively? Well, this is one of the hardest sections of your marketing plan to complete, yet it is the most important. After you write it, have your spouse, partner, friend, or valued professional read it. Ask questions and challenge assumptions. Remember, an assumption is the lowest form of knowledge. Getting this right will make the next step all the easier. The next step in the development of your marketing plan is to define your unique selling proposition, or USP as it's commonly called. Having a well-defined USP or unique selling proposition provides you with an edge over your competition. Having a strong USP is of critical importance as it distinguishes you, your company, from your competitors. Having a well-defined USP enables you to differentiate yourself from the crowd. Very few businesses are one of a kind, and chances are you are not either. Just look around you. How many health, wellness, and stress management programs and companies are out there? What makes them truly unique? More importantly, what makes you unique? It's important to spend time to define your USP. You'll have deeper insight into the core of your business, and it will help you in the development of your marketing and media materials. As an example, StressMaster is unique. We are defined by a program that no one else has. As an associate, for those of you who are StressMaster associates, you can leverage your relationship with StressMaster to differentiate yourself from other health and wellness organizations. So take advantage of the opportunity to showcase the fact that you and your organization are StressMaster associates. Let's take a look at how to create your USP. Well, the first thing is just think of your ideal client and put yourself in his or her shoes. Explain the problem you solve or list the benefits. The key is to define your promise or commitment, write it down, review, rewrite, and reduce. Your final USP should be very short. Think of it from the point of view of some of the best USPs out there. Avid's a great one that came up years ago called "We're Number Two, We Try Harder." FedEx came up with a great one called "When It Absolutely Positively Has to Be There Overnight." And everybody remembers Evans. The milk chocolate melts in your mouth and not in your hand. Domino's had a good one too. You get it fresh, hot pizza delivered to your door in 30 minutes or less, or it's free. Our particular USB is we don't just teach people to manage stress, but to master it. So if you don't have a USP, now is the time to sit down and try to begin to create one that reflects you and your company and your organization. One last point, a good USP is a great branding tool that you can use in all your communication. The next step in creating your marketing plan is to create your SWOT, or SWOT. SWOT is a simple way to analyze your strengths and weaknesses and the opportunities and threats that you face. And SWOT enables you to focus on your true strengths, minimize threats, and take the greatest possible advantage of opportunities available to you. As part of your marketing plan, a SWOT analysis is very important to truly understanding those things that really can affect your success. Think of it this way. You've got strengths and opportunities. You can use your internal strengths to take advantage of external opportunities. You can also use to minimize threats. When you have weaknesses, you can improve weaknesses by taking advantage of opportunities. And likewise, when you have threats, you can work to eliminate weaknesses to avoid threats. So understanding your SWOT is important to the building of your marketing plan and the creation of your media and marketing materials as part of your communication plan. So how do you do a SWOT analysis? First of all, it's not complicated. Keep it simple, short, realistic. Don't overanalyze, and it's okay to be subjective. So here's some examples of possible strengths. What you should do is sit down with a piece of paper and basically start looking at yourself, your organization, your company, and ask yourself, well, what are my strengths? It could be a new service or product that you have. Perhaps it's your exclusivity. For example, with StressMaster, as an associate, you have the right to use our materials in your work. Perhaps it's the superior quality of who you are and what you do, perhaps because of your years of experience and training. Basically, look at your uniquenesses. Another area, for example, is location. So anything that sets you apart from the competition is a strength. A good technique is to ask someone who knows you really well to tell you what they think your strengths are. You may not realize that they see things in you and your company that you don't yourself see. You could do that for weaknesses also. So again, build the strengths up. These are the key selling points as you go forward with your marketing materials and your communication plan. Most people don't like to look at their weaknesses, but it's really important. You may find that there are some areas that you should augment in some way. Poor quality, of course, is not likely to be the case, but sometimes there are companies that just simply have poor quality. Lack of experience is an area that could be a weakness. You may have a lot of experience in one area, but perhaps, like for example in marketing or sales, you don't have the experience. If there's a damaged reputation for some reason, then that's a weakness. If you offer the same product or service as others and they're identical, that's a weakness. Perhaps it's lack of funds. You want to do certain marketing or advertising, but you don't have the funds to do it. Or maybe your location is remote and you don't have a lot of businesses in the area. And finally, if there are any health issues. So again, take a look at your weaknesses, write them down, and find ways to overcome them or augment them or change them in some way. Let's take a look at opportunities. These are the external factors. Strengths and weaknesses are internal, whereas the and threats are external. One great opportunity is if there are a few competitors. Once again, because you're a StressMaster associate, or if you are a StressMaster associate, you have the unique position of being exclusive. You have no competitors in that market. Perhaps you have competitors with damaged reputations. Well, you don't want to specifically highlight that in your presentations or proposals. You certainly can know that the fact that maybe somebody has not done the job that they could have done will be to your advantage. Another opportunity is perhaps a new awareness of the importance of your product or service. Recently found out that in the country of Belgium, it's mandatory that companies provide preventative stress management services. So that's an opportunity. Companies who may be laying off employees who have a lot of stress, you might be able to go in and provide them with stress mastery programs to help employees with their daily stress. Another opportunity might be, for example, if there are health and stress problems within a company, or if there's high turnover. Again, with high turnover, you have a lot of stress. When companies are merging, again, change is stressful. Anything that you see as an opportunity should be identified and made a part of your marketing plan. It certainly will have an impact upon the development of your media and marketing materials as well as your sales approach. And finally, let's take a look at threats. These are also external factors. Some of the most common threats are that too many people or companies are just like you. Again, we talk about differentiating yourself from the competition. This is very important when there is a lot of people doing programs like health, wellness, diet, nutrition, exercise, and stress management. Companies and individuals with limited resources. How many times have you gone into a company and they say, well, we can't afford to do your program? I don't believe that most of the time, but that is an excuse that people use. Price wars with competition. Perhaps in your industry there's a lot of competition for, let's say, diet and nutrition programs. The competitor has a new or more innovative product and service than you do. And of course, there's the aggressive competitors who are out there banging on doors and making a big wave in the community so they become known more than you. And lack of awareness of the problem that you are addressing. One of the big issues in the health and wellness industry is that many companies and organizations are simply not aware of the problem. And if they are aware of the problem, perhaps they just don't want to address it. So that's kind of a threat to selling to that company. And it's something that needs to be overcome in order for a sale to occur. So in summary, the SWOT is a very important ingredient to a marketing plan. It is your task now or at some point in the future to sit down and begin to look at the various areas that can be both to your advantage and disadvantage, and to make a plan to overcome those so that you can have a greater competitive edge. The next step is to create a sales and distribution plan. This may not be very complicated for your service business, but it's very important to think about it. The question really is, how will customers buy from you and receive your products and services? For example, will your customers purchase directly from you, from your website, from a distributor or a reseller? If you can answer these questions, this may be a very short segment of your plan, but you may want to think about it in terms of all the ways in which you might consider distributing and selling your product or service. The first task is to define and describe how your product will be sold. As indicated, it could be a direct sale, indirect sale, wholesale, retail, online, or through other means. The purpose of the business is to get the prospect to purchase your service, and sales is key to that process. Think out of the box. There may be other ways in which you can sell your product that you had not thought about. In terms of distribution, which really means how you will deliver yours to a customer, every business is different. So the question now is, how will you distribute your product? Direct delivery, doing a seminar or workshop, perhaps through an online program such as a webinar or e-learning? Will you be creating videos that you would be selling and distributing? Another way to deliver is through audio. This section is designed to give you a clear idea of how you will be selling your product and how you will be distributing it. The next step is to complete this section of your marketing plan called Sales and Distribution, and write out in detail exactly how you will sell and distribute your service and product. Step 6, pricing. One of the challenges of all small businesses is how to set pricing, especially for services like seminars, workshops, lunch and learns, and the like. So in this section, you want to evaluate, is your pricing right? So how do you price your service or product? One of the best strategies is to see what the competition is charging. This may be difficult because you may not be able to actually learn what they're charging for workshops or seminars, but if you mouse around, you typically can get a pretty good idea of what the competition is doing. The other thing is, what's the demand for your services? The greater the demand, the higher the prices, usually, within reason. But you should also look at the costs related to your services, such as how much time does it take to develop it? What is the cost of materials? Is travel involved? Do you need to rent a room? What kind of staff support do you need? And is there a selling cost, such as commissions? If you sell a product, such as a healthcare product, something that might be related to diet and nutrition, you clearly have the cost to purchase it, but the hidden costs are really what really drive the price. The marketing costs are key. How much does it cost you to promote the product to the community? Shipping is pretty obvious. And of course, there's the returns. So take a very careful look at what it takes to actually sell that product, and then do a break-even analysis where you compare the cost to purchase it and market it to what you're actually charging for it. And you can do the same for your services. A part of your pricing could also include special offers or promotions. Special offers can be a boon to sales. Since deals can secure more new customers and drive past customers back to you, they're worth considering. What would you like to offer as an incentive? Maybe something to sample your wares or products, sample your services, perhaps a free hour, half-hour presentation that you might provide to a company or organization. You can use a variety of techniques such as free trials, money-back guarantees, packaging services and products together, and discounts. You don't have to have special offers, but having them available will generally cause your customer base to grow, and in the end, you'll have more business. Creating your own communication plan. Creating a communication plan is the real heart of the marketing plan because it is through communication that you reach the hearts and minds of your consumers, prospects, and of course your target market. There are two aspects of a communication plan. The first is, what is your strategy? And the second, what tactics are you going to use to communicate your message, your product, your service, why they should buy it. Every communication plan has a strategy and tactic component to it. Sometimes it's obvious and sometimes it's not. So what's a strategy? In brief, the strategy is what your business is all about. It's the what, not the how. It's global and not specific. In contrast to a strategy, a tactic is the how. How are you going to get your goals and objectives achieved? What specific things are you going to do to generate that business? It's not general in nature. It's written with clear timelines and costs. You should determine tactics for your company as well as for each of your objectives. Let's take an example. Let's say our objective is to do 3 stress mastery programs in the course of the next 6 to 9 months. What strategy can we use to increase the probability that we'll be successful? And what tactics can we use to maximize the impact and get the message out and get people to sign up? Now, let's say that one of our weaknesses is that we're not well known in the community. And so to maximize success, we might want to make a strategy to become better known as the experts. How would we do that? Well, there's a variety of things that we could do to maximize our exposure in the community. One thing we could do is we could be on more TV and radio shows. We could post on LinkedIn. Perhaps we get an article in newspapers. Anything to create a greater exposure. We could add more activities that bring us closer to our goal. One would be do more networking. We could do email blasts with good information, kind of like an e-letter. We could do Facebook posts of relevant information regarding stress. But since it's our goal to bring people into the workshop, and we're communicating to an entire community or city, perhaps even a state, we would identify a variety of tasks that would make this possible. First, we might contact the HR directors and presidents and CEOs of companies in the region with information about the upcoming workshop. We could obtain their email addresses and phone numbers and contact them directly. We could list and would list the workshop in the event section of the Business Journal and other newspapers. We would plan to get interviewed on local radio and TV about the workshop and why people should attend, what the benefits would be. We could create an email marketing campaign, which would send out emails prior to the workshop detailing the benefits of the workshop, what would be provided, why people should attend, and a host of other tactics and activities that would produce the results that we desire. Because of the importance of this area, I'm going to go a little bit deeper now. As you'll see, I set up a spreadsheet with all the tasks and timelines that will bring us to our goal. When doing a communication plan, it is important to have a way in which to track the activities and behaviors that you're going to engage in. Put a timeline to it and costs. A good communication plan usually has costs associated with advertising, but you may have costs associated with other aspects of your business. So let's take a look at the first pre-workshop planning phase. Now, this is not marketing. These are activities that get you ready for the workshop. So they're in here to keep focused on what you might need to be doing for your health and wellness or stress mastery workshop. There are obvious things that you should all know, but here's the reality. Sometimes we forget. For example, you're going to need a web page. This web page has got to have information about the workshop. Number 2, you're going to have a registration form so people can go online and register to sign up for your workshop. Number 3, you've got to get a PayPal set up unless it's being paid by a company or through check or other means. In essence, these activities are pre-marketing and get you ready to get doing the kinds of things that are going to bring people in. One area of marketing are magazines, PR, and events. This is typical for marketing activities. The tactics are very simple and they need to be identified along with the timeline. So you'll see, for example, the Phoenix Republic newspaper will get a news release out, maybe several. The Phoenix Republic newspaper events listing want to be listed in the events. The Phoenix Journal, perhaps get an article and find a way to get covered by some of the reporters. And of course, the event listing for the Phoenix Journal. There are health and wellness magazines. We would focus on getting some coverage in those magazines. We might even buy an ad. Craigslist, events listing. You may get nothing out of that, but it wouldn't hurt because a lot of business people see it, and it may be something they might want to provide to their employees. Best of all, it's free. So in the beginning, when you start looking at categories where you're going to be doing some specific activities, you want to fill it out as much as you can for your local community or for wherever you're going to be doing your workshop. Let's move into direct marketing. In direct marketing, which is the most common way to get the message out, we use flyers, email blasts, lunch and learns, and each one of these activities can be detailed even further. The key is that if you don't list these activities, they can easily be forgotten, and putting them on a timeline ensures that they will be done according to the schedule you want. When a workshop or seminar is poorly planned, typically what happens is that you're sending out emails at the last minute, flyers, it's too late, not realizing that people need 2 to 3 months in advance to be geared up and plan for your workshop. So the planning process and the communication process is integral to the marketing plan. Another area to talk about is social media. Key area for any kind of marketing, whether it's coaching, seminars, workshops, training of any kind, is to really get your message out through LinkedIn, Twitter, Google+, all of the major social media. Awareness is key. But as we'll talk about soon, the message is also the means to really communicate through these various activities why they should attend. So keep your tactics in mind, and also remember that what sells people are benefits, and how you communicate those benefits through these various media is key. A couple of last points. Your communication plan is yours. What I've just shared with you is one example of how to lay out a communication plan, and it's only a model that you can use. The content of the plan or how you go about your tactics depends upon you and what you're comfortable with and what you can afford. It's also not static. You can add to or take away any component as you go forward. This is probably the one area where you will spend the greatest amount of time, energy, thought, and consideration. So take your time, goals, your objectives, understand your USP, your SWOP, and begin to build your communication plan around each objective. And keep that in mind. Every objective needs a communication plan. There may be similarities between the different objectives, but there could be differences too. Create your marketing materials. So what kind of marketing materials do you need for your various services and products and programs? Marketing materials are essentially used to communicate who you are, what you offer, and why they should buy from you. Marketing materials are essential to a good, successful marketing campaign. Unfortunately, most marketing materials are not prepared very well. It is worth a while to spend money and time creating highly professional marketing materials that really communicates your message. It's through the materials that people learn about you, your programs, and your services. So for each of the tactics you have in the previous communication section, you're going to want to think about what marketing materials you're going to need. A website, printed brochures, business cards, PDFs, catalogs. You'll need to define and list which marketing materials you have now and which are effective, and whether or not they should be redone and improved, perhaps even new ones created. Collateral materials fall into common areas such as brochures, could be trifold, fourfold, or just simply a rack card. business card, flyers of all kinds, a one-page flyer, posters. Posters can be very effective in certain markets. If you're doing an internal campaign for, let's say, a company, and you're going to do a health and wellness program, designing a poster that can be put up around the company would be a great idea. The posters don't need to be very big. They could be 11 by 17, 8.5 by 11. And Costco is a great place to get posters made for relatively little money. One of the more popular and effective areas to communicate your message is through videos. Today, videos can be produced for relatively cheap, and they don't have to be professional. You can do a short video using your own camera, telling your story, explaining your program, listing the benefits. Video is a great way to just communicate more about who you are, and it's a credibility building tool that should not be overlooked. Press kits, fact sheets are other ways to communicate, and of course your website. A good website is essential today. But keep in mind that people don't necessarily find you as a business through internet search as much as you're going to direct them to go to your website. So when you construct your website, you want to have things in it that really sells you, especially things like testimonials, clear description of your programs and services, special offerings you might have, your background, all the basic things that are in a good website. You also should have it professionally developed. A website is a credibility tool and it reflects you. So make it your personal presentation to the world, and it will add greatly to your sales and marketing efforts. In conclusion, marketing materials should be professionally designed, have clear and simple content, focused on benefits and features, have testimonials, easy to access, and if necessary, a call to action for sales. One way to expand your marketing and business success is by joining forces with other professionals or through sponsorships. Let's start with joint ventures, collaborations, and partnerships. These are agreements you forge with other people or organizations to deliver a program or to help you reach new customers. For example, when doing a wellness workshop or a stress mastery program, it can be very helpful to bring in a specialist in an area that you may not be proficient in. For example, in a half or full day program, you might want to bring in a specialist in mindfulness, meditation, yoga, progressive relaxation, and to provide an experience in these areas. This would complement your broader program and provide some hands-on experience in key stress management areas. Many of them will do it for no or little cost, primarily because they want the exposure for business also. In terms of sponsorships, another way to increase your sale of health and wellness programs is to fund your marketing and program delivery. For example, if you're planning a wellness workshop, you can look to your community, for example, and approach a diet nutrition center, a naturopath, or even a healthcare company or hospital. These can become a sponsor for you for a fee or in exchange for a spot for some of their employees in your program. Some hospitals and wellness centers will even provide a conference room or a training space in which to conduct your training program. Having a sponsor adds even more credibility to you and your program and aids you in your marketing efforts. A while back, we did a stress mastery program for over 25 employees from various companies in the Phoenix area. We linked in with Honor Health as a sponsor. Honor Health is a large hospital network, and the Wellness Council of Arizona, which serves thousands of employees across the state of Arizona. These were co-sponsors in our program. And in the case of the Wellness Council of Arizona, I invited the executive director, who is an expert on mindfulness, to deliver a 30-minute mindfulness experience. Honor Health gave us a well-equipped room and promoted us to their employees. In exchange, we provided them with a few free spots for their employees to attend. In all, this was a great success and a wonderful way in which to market and deliver a program in our community. The next area of your marketing plan is your referral strategy. Again, the goal of a marketing plan is to bring in business And referrals is a great way in which to accomplish that goal. Do you have a referral strategy? Is it in place? Most people forget to ask for a referral after a coaching or training session has ended, particularly if that session has been well received and effective. Having a referral mentality can improve your success, particularly at getting new business. For example, if every one of your customers referred one new customer to you, your customer or client base would grow, and it would grow exponentially. The key is to have a formalized referral strategy, which is simply a plan to ask customers or clients for referrals. If you have a successful health and wellness program with a company, you might ask them if they would refer you to another company who might be interested in your product or services. Another specialized area is using finder's fee. This is a referral system that relies on financial incentives to get new business. This may be appropriate for some individuals who have deep contacts and would like to participate financially. The biggest challenge is to actually build this into your communication plan and to review your referral strategy at least once a week. While not a referral, client recommendations are essential to communicating the value of you and your company. Recommendations and testimonials can build credibility and remove the doubt from any prospect that you can and will do a superior job. Make a list of your clients or customers to whom you can go to for a referral or a recommendation. Then go to them and ask them for their referral and a written recommendation that you might publish on your marketing materials and website. Be specific about what you want from them, and many times they'll ask you to help them write that. Again, a referral and recommendation strategy is essential to an effective marketing plan. The final section of your marketing plan is the executive summary, which is often put at the beginning of your marketing plan. At the conclusion of your marketing plan, you will have a better of who you are, what services you provide, why you provide them, and how you do it. Now it's time to create your executive summary. The purpose of the executive summary is to describe the key elements of your business so that the reader will want to learn more about you and your programs. If you are seeking financial backing, it should have some financial information or information that an investor can see that benefits them by partnering with you. Complete your executive summary, and as the name implies, this section of your marketing plan summarizes each of the other sections of your marketing plan in a short one-page form. There's no magic formula. The key is to condense all that you do into a one-page document.
I believe and hope that you can now see the key aspects of a great marketing plan and the importance of having an effective marketing plan in place to fuel the growth of your health and wellness business. To provide more help in developing your plan, I highly recommend my Marketing Plan Development Workbook. I created this workbook as a companion to this webinar. It is like a template in that it walks you through the 14 steps as discussed and provides specific exercises and real examples to help you build a truly effective marketing plan. In order to make it easy for you to create your plan, the workbook comes in a Word doc so you can complete each section of your plan at your own pace. If you'd like to get a copy of my workbook, go to stressmaster.com, www.stressmaster.com, and click on the link on the home page. In addition, if you'd like personal coaching on your market plan development, I am available. Please contact me at jim@stressmaster.com. That's jim@stressmaster.com. Or call me at 480-788-7178, and I'll be happy to discuss your program, your marketing, and any other aspect of how to build your business. Finally, if you just have questions you'd like to ask me, please send me an email or just call me at 480-788-7178. Thank you, and I hope this webinar has provided the foundation for a successful service business.